What if the way you talk to yourself could change everything? Not just your mood, not just how your day feels, but your entire life. Right now, as you're listening to this, there's a voice in your head. It's been with you your whole life. It speaks when you're alone. It comments when you fail. It judges, encourages, doubts, dreams. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it screams. But here's the question most people never ask. What is it really saying? Because that voice, it's not just background noise. It's not harmless. It's not just you thinking. It's programming. And the way it talks, whether it lifts you up or pulls you down, creates the emotional tone of your entire world. That's not just an idea. It's neuroscience. Your brain listens to your words. It believes your patterns. It rewires based on repetition, which means the words you speak silently inside are more powerful than the ones you say out loud. You've probably heard the phrase, you are what you eat, but what if the truth is even deeper? You are what you repeat. Every self-judgment, every mental replay of that one mistake, every time you call yourself stupid, lazy, not good enough, your brain writes it down as fact. No questions asked, and then it acts on it. But what if you could change that? What if shifting the way you talk to yourself could start a chain reaction? A small shift that opens a new path, a new mindset, a new way of being in the world. That's what we're going to explore in this video. This isn't about fake positivity or forcing yourself to be cheerful. This is about creating a shift, an inner transformation through intentional self-talk. It's about recognizing when your thoughts are working against you and learning how to rewrite the story, line by line, word by word. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your inner dialogue is one of the most powerful tools you have. You'll learn how to spot the hidden patterns that sabotage your confidence. You'll discover small practical ways to change those patterns, and you'll see how even a few words spoken with belief can unlock something inside you that's been waiting to rise. This isn't theory. It's backed by research in neuroscience and psychology. And more importantly, it's backed by real lives, people who made tiny mental shifts and saw massive emotional and personal change, people who once said things like, I'm stuck or I'm broken, and now say things like, I'm growing, or I'm not finished yet. Most people never think about how they talk to themselves. They accept the voice as truth. They let it run wild. They never stop to ask, is this helping me or hurting me? But the people who do, the ones who listen with awareness, who learn how to change the tone, who challenge the voice when it's lying to them, they experience something powerful, they shift. So if you've been stuck in self-doubt, if your mind feels like a battlefield, if you've ever wanted to feel in control again, this video is for you. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're not too far gone. You're simply a human being who never got taught how to use their internal voice as a tool for transformation until now, because by the time this video ends, you'll have what you need to begin your shift, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now, right here, just by being more aware of how you speak to yourself and choosing to change it. Welcome to Awaken Greatness, the channel where we help you grow from the inside out. If you're ready to take control of your mindset, heal your inner dialogue, and create a better version of yourself through the power of your own words, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, join our growing community, and let's take the first step together. The shift starts when you do, and it starts with how you speak to you. We all have a voice inside our heads. It speaks without permission, without pause. That voice is called self-talk. It's the constant stream of thoughts we have about ourselves, the world around us, and what we believe to be true. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's loud, but it's always there. This internal dialogue runs from the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, and often, it even keeps us awake. Self-talk can be a force of encouragement, or it can be the biggest critic we've ever faced. When it's positive, it sounds like support, like a friend. It says things like, I can figure this out, or I've handled tough times before. It cheers us on, even when things aren't going well. It offers patience, understanding, strength. It helps us believe we're capable of growth, change, and healing. But when self-talk turns negative, it becomes something else entirely. It's the voice that says, you're not good enough, or why even try? You always mess things up. It exaggerates our failures. It questions our worth. It rewrites our identity, not based on truth, but based on fear and pain. This kind of inner dialogue doesn't just hurt, it shapes how we live. It becomes the invisible lens through which we see everything. Negative self-talk often sounds like facts, but it isn't. It's a filter, a broken one. It distorts reality and turns everyday challenges into signs of failure. And the more we listen to it, the more we start to believe it. The words become beliefs, the beliefs become habits, and the habits become the life we live. What we often forget is that our brain doesn't question what we tell it. It just absorbs, processes, acts. The things we repeat again and again create pathways in our mind. If we constantly think, I'm not smart, that thought becomes a mental groove, a track we fall into without realizing it. But here's the truth, that groove can be changed. It's not permanent, it's not fixed, and that change begins with awareness. Positive self-talk builds us up. It makes us more confident. It pushes us to try, to forgive ourselves, to keep going. It reminds us that we are human, and that's okay. It doesn't lie or ignore pain. It just chooses a more compassionate way to deal with it. Every emotion we feel, every action we take, starts with a thought, and that thought is often shaped by the way we talk to ourselves. Self-talk influences how we handle stress, how we treat others, how we bounce back from setbacks. It affects our posture, our tone, even the choices we make every single day. If we want to change our life, we don't always have to start with something big. Sometimes it starts with one sentence, one moment of speaking to ourselves with kindness instead of cruelty, one decision to believe in possibility instead of failure. And when we repeat that, the shift begins. The words we say to ourselves shape more than our thoughts. They shape how we feel, how we act, even how our body responds. Positive self-talk is more than just uplifting words. It's a tool, a powerful one, and when used with intention, it can change the course of a day, a mindset, even a life. One of the most immediate effects of positive self-talk is on mental health. When the inner voice shifts from criticism to compassion, something inside us loosens. The tight grip of anxiety starts to soften. That constant inner tension, the feeling that something is wrong, that we are wrong, begins to ease. It's not magic, it's chemistry. When we use kind, encouraging language with ourselves, the brain responds. It lowers the level of cortisol, the stress hormone. It slows the heart rate. It brings a sense of calm. And in that calm, we can think more clearly, breathe more deeply, and face life more fully. Depression often feeds on hopelessness, on the belief that nothing will get better. But positive self-talk plants different seeds. Instead of saying, I can't handle this, it whispers, one step at a time. Instead of, I'm broken, it offers, I'm healing. Over time, those gentle messages start to build a new pattern. They interrupt the spiral. They open a window in a room that once felt sealed shut. They bring in light. This mental shift doesn't just affect the mind, it shows up in the body too. When we practice positive self-talk, we reduce the physical symptoms of stress, tension in the shoulders, tightness in the chest, even chronic fatigue. All of these can be signs that the body is responding to negative mental noise. But when we change the message, the body listens. It begins to relax. Sleep improves. Energy returns. There's more ease in movement, more strength in the system. People who speak to themselves with kindness tend to recover faster from illness. They're more likely to make healthier choices, stick to routines, and engage in habits that support well-being, not because they're perfect, but because they're encouraged. They feel worth the effort. And then there's emotional resilience, that quiet strength that allows someone to keep going, even after a setback. Positive self-talk is the foundation of that strength. When we fall, it's the voice that says, "You've been here before, you'll rise again." It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives us the courage to walk through it. It reminds us that one hard day doesn't mean a hard life, that we've survived before, and we can do it again. This kind of mindset doesn't just appear, it's built sentence by sentence, thought by thought. And every time we choose a gentler, wiser voice inside, we become stronger on the outside. Positive self-talk isn't about ignoring struggle, it's about how we face it, with words that empower, instead of words that defeat. Negative self-talk often slips into our minds, so quietly, we don't even notice it. It's that voice that whispers right before we try something new, or when we look in the mirror, or after we make a mistake. And over time, it starts to sound normal, even though it's anything but helpful. Common patterns of negative self-talk usually follow the same rhythm. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough," "I always mess things up," or "why even try?" These thoughts often come when we're stressed, tired, or feeling vulnerable, but they don't stop there. They repeat themselves. They grow stronger the more we listen. "I'll never be successful," "Nobody cares what I think," "Something must be wrong with me." This language becomes a script we repeat, often without realizing that we're training our brain to believe it. There are many forms of negative self-talk. Some are direct insults to ourselves. Others are more subtle, like constant comparison to others, or brushing off compliments by thinking they're just being nice. Sometimes it hides in perfectionism, telling ourselves that nothing we do is ever quite enough, or in catastrophizing, where we jump to the worst possible outcome and convince ourselves it's inevitable. But where do these patterns come from? Most negative self-talk doesn't start with us. It's learned. It can come from early experiences, things people told us as children that stuck. Maybe someone once said we were lazy, or not smart, or too emotional, and we absorbed those words like facts. Over time we began to repeat them, not because they were true, but because they were familiar. Society plays a role too. We live in a world that often values appearance over depth, results over effort, and certainty over curiosity. From social media to advertising, we're constantly shown images of perfection, flawless lives, perfect bodies, effortless success. It creates a quiet pressure to meet impossible standards, and when we fall short, the inner critic steps in with, "See, you're not enough." These thought patterns may feel automatic, but they're not harmless. Negative self-talk affects more than just our mood. It shapes the way we see the world and ourselves. When we believe we're not capable, we stop trying. When we think we're not worthy, we settle for less. It becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. The more we doubt, the more we shrink. It also limits our personal growth. How can we improve if we're constantly tearing ourselves down? How can we take healthy risks when we've already convinced ourselves we'll fail? Negative self-talk keeps us stuck in the same loop, wanting change, but believing it's out of reach, and it robs us of joy. When we're trapped in our own harsh inner dialogue, we miss out on the present moment. We forget to celebrate small wins. We overlook progress. We become our own worst critic instead of our greatest ally. Recognizing these patterns is the first step, because once we see them clearly, we can start to question them. And once we start to question them, we can begin to change the story. The journey to change your inner dialogue starts with one thing: awareness. You can't change what you don't see. Most of the time, negative self-talk operates in the background. It blends in with your thoughts. It feels automatic, almost like a reflex. That's why the first step is to slow down and listen. Start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself when you make a mistake, when you feel unsure, or when something doesn't go as planned. Notice the tone. Notice the words. Are they helpful or are they harsh? Mindfulness is a simple but powerful way to build that awareness. It's the act of becoming present with your thoughts, without judgment. That doesn't mean stopping negative thoughts. It means observing them, naming them. Ah, there's that thought again. I'm not doing enough. Once you become aware, you take back control. That thought no longer runs you. You have a choice in how you respond, and that's where reframing comes in. Reframing means taking a negative thought and turning it into something more balanced, not fake, not overly positive, just true and kind. Instead of saying, I always fail, try I'm still learning, and that's okay. Instead of I'm not good at this, try I'm improving every day. This doesn't mean ignoring hard truths. It means choosing a version of the truth that gives you power, instead of taking it away. One useful technique is to imagine how you would talk to a close friend in the same situation. You'd likely be gentle, understanding, and encouraging. Now apply that same tone to yourself. What would you say if you were on your own side? What would it sound like to believe in your own potential, even when you're struggling? Affirmations can also help, especially when used with intention. Short phrases like, I am enough, I am growing, or I choose progress over perfection can gradually rewrite the way your brain responds to challenges. But affirmations only work when practiced consistently. Repeating them once won't erase years of negative thinking, but repeating them daily begins to shift your mental patterns. You're building a new habit, just like training a muscle. Consistency is the key to everything. Positive self-talk isn't a one-time fix. It's something you practice every day, especially on the days you feel like giving up. It's brushing your mental teeth. It's choosing a better path over and over until it becomes natural. And yes, you will slip. That's normal. But each time you notice the old patterns and choose a new one, you're making progress. You don't need to be perfect at this. You just need to be willing. Willing to pause, to notice, to shift. Willing to speak to yourself like someone worth supporting, because you are. And the more you do it, the more that voice inside will start to sound like a friend, like hope, like the real you. Positive self-talk isn't just a concept to think about. It's something you use right in the middle of your everyday life. It shows up in the smallest moments, when your mind wants to react with frustration, fear, or self-doubt. That's when this practice becomes real. Not in theory, but in action. Imagine you wake up late, you're rushing, you spill coffee. Your first instinct might be, great, I've already ruined the day. That's where the shift begins. Pause, breathe. Replace that thought with something like, it's a rough start, but I can still make this a good day. That one sentence can lower your stress and help you recover with calm instead of chaos. Or picture yourself getting critical feedback at work. The old voice might say, I'm not cut out for this. I can't do anything right. But the new voice can say, feedback is a tool. I'll learn from this and get better. That change in wording shifts your energy. You go from shame to growth, from defeat to opportunity. Even in social situations, self-talk makes a huge difference. Maybe you're about to speak in public. Your heart races, your palms sweat. The negative loop starts. I'm going to mess this up. Everyone's watching. Now you catch it. You respond with, it's okay to be nervous. I've prepared. I know what I'm doing. You remind yourself that nerves are normal, that you've succeeded before, that you can do hard things. These moments happen all day long. Waiting in traffic, managing a tough conversation, trying something new, making a decision. Each moment is a chance to check your inner voice and steer it in a better direction. These shifts may seem small, but over time, they build a new mental environment, one that helps instead of harms. Let's look at a few brief stories. Take Maya, a college student who used to freeze during exams. Her self-talk was brutal. I'm going to fail. I always do. After learning about reframing, she started practicing new phrases. I've studied. I know this. I'm doing my best. Her scores improved, not because she got smarter overnight, but because she was no longer paralyzed by panic. Then there's Raj, who struggled with self-worth after losing a job. His thoughts were constant. I'm a failure. I'll never find something else. He started journaling daily affirmations, reminding himself of his skills and value. Within weeks his mindset shifted. He approached interviews with more confidence, and yes, he got hired. These are simple shifts, but they matter. Positive self-talk helps us face challenges with clarity, bounce back from setbacks, and build a stronger connection with ourselves. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about showing up for yourself with words that heal, not hurt. Words that move you forward, no matter where you're starting from. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. The truth is, change begins with a decision. One small step in a new direction. Right here, right now. You've listened, you've understood, and now it's time to act. This is your invitation to speak to yourself differently. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. No matter where you are in life, no matter how loud the critical voice inside you might be, it can be shifted. Not all at once, but gradually, patiently, with practice. The most powerful transformations often begin in silence, in those quiet moments when you pause, notice a thought, and choose something better. That's the real magic. Choosing again, choosing gently, start small. The next time something goes wrong, and the voice says, you always screw things up, pause, and breathe. Replace it with, this is just one moment, I can handle this. The next time you look in the mirror and feel the urge to criticize yourself, change the script. Say something kind, even if it feels awkward, say it anyway. Because it's not about sounding perfect, it's about building a new path, word by word, thought by thought. You're not alone in this. Many people are on the same journey. We all have inner critics. We all want to feel better. So why not walk this path together? If something in this video spoke to you, if it sparked a thought, a memory, a new determination, share it in the comments. Tell us about one moment when you noticed your inner voice, or one thing you plan to say to yourself differently from today. This space isn't just a place for watching videos, it's a space for connection, for real change, for building each other up. Every comment, every story shared, helps someone else feel seen, helps someone else take that next brave step. Maybe your words will be the reason someone finally believes they're not alone in their struggle. That's the beauty of this community. We rise by lifting each other. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who listens to them. And now, you're the one learning to guide them. So let today be the beginning. Start practicing positive self-talk. Write it down. Say it out loud. Whisper it if you have to. But don't wait for the perfect moment. This is it. This is your moment. Speak to yourself like someone who matters, because you do. And if you found value here, we'd love for you to be part of this journey. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join our mission of awakening greatness. This isn't just another video, it's a step toward the best version of you. One word at a time, one thought at a time. Let the shift begin. Every change begins with awareness, and what you say to yourself matters more than you might realize. Today, we explored how your inner voice, your self-talk, can either build you up or break you down. When you shift from negative to positive self-talk, you open the door to better mental health, stronger emotional resilience, and a more empowered version of yourself. We talked about what self-talk is, how it shapes your thoughts, and how you can identify and reframe negative patterns. We also walked through real-life situations where this shift makes a real difference. And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about being kind, consistent, and committed to the way you speak to yourself. If you're ready to create lasting change, it starts with one powerful choice. Choose better words. Speak to yourself with encouragement, patience, and belief. You are always listening to your own voice. Make sure it's a voice that supports you. If this video helped you see things differently, give it a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear it too. And don't forget to subscribe to Awaken Greatness for more life-changing tools, habits, and insights that help you become the best version of yourself. And here's one final thought to carry with you. Change your words, change your world.